Hollywood actor Johnny Depp has wandered back into the spotlight across the Tasman. You'll remember he got seriously offside with the Aussies a few weeks back when he snuck his dogs into the country during filming for the next Pirates of Caribbean movie. So what has he been doing to try and make up for that? Australia correspondent Dan Sutton joins me now from Sydney. Dan, how are you?
Paul, I'm good.
Very good. Now, Johnny Depp, so he goes back to the United States and had some pretty unfavourable things to say about Australia, with his wife saying it'll be a long time before we go to that country again. Well, now he's back and he's being lovely.
He was public enemy number one over here for quite some time, especially for Barnaby Joyce, the National Senator, because of his dogs. Well, he's ducked into a children's hospital in Queensland during filming for the Pirates of the Caribbean film, which is going on in Queensland at the moment. He spent 2 hours in the children's hospital going through the oncology ward, dressed as Captain Jack Sparrow, delighting the children. He's handing out gold coins, posing for selfies, having lots of hugs with the kids. They absolutely loved it. The cynic in me would say it's just a publicity stunt, but this wasn't something he dragged the television cameras along for. It was filmed by the in-house TV station
at the hospital,
the children's hospital, and has then made its way out into the media. I just think it's a wonderful gesture that he's made, and I think he's going to go from zero to hero in Australia because of this.
It's funny how you can save yourself, isn't it? Because I think you're absolutely right. I mean, the real Johnny Depp going dressed as the real Captain Jack Sparrow, that is pretty cool. Now, I don't know if you've ever had this problem, Dan, with bus lanes and with other large painted areas on the road, but it rains and they get very, very slippery. And the trouble with bus lanes is they're now huge. There's paint over the entire lane. You've now, in Sydney, got bus drivers complaining about their huge, heavy buses sliding into bus stops.
Well, I'll say this, Paul, I've never run into trouble with it, but that's because I don't drive in the bus lanes.
Well, see, I do, because it's you can get around much more quickly if you drive in a bus lane.
You can, you certainly can. But bus drivers in Sydney are pretty annoyed at the moment. They are calling these painted bus lanes slippery dips. Now, you see them all over Sydney. They're bright pink here in Sydney, and they're clearly marked, and they have paint all over the surface of them. And the bus drivers are saying there are numerous spots all over Sydney where they drive along, they go to turn left, they end up going straight ahead. It makes it difficult for stop. They think passengers and themselves are at risk, and they've asked the authorities here to investigate it. They say, look, we've looked into it, we've resurfaced some of them, we've changed the adhesive and changed the surface a little bit.
Any boatie will tell you just need to put a bit of grit in the paint. I mean, it's not hard, is it? It's not rocket science. It's bus lanes.
You've got nice, smooth bus lanes. They look very nice, though, Paul. They look lovely.
Bus lanes are it makes the whole place look like Toy Town, doesn't it? Bus lanes are the opposite to rocket science, really, if you think about it. Now, a few months ago, we were talking about Bianca. So Bianca goes for a one-night stand and gets pregnant, which is, one of the less desirable things that comes from a one-night stand. And she thinks she'll track down this man who she could barely remember. So she goes on Gumtree, which is like Trade Me, and she finds him.
She has. Bianca Fazy is over in Western Australia. She had a little son, Logan, in January this year, went hunting for the father of Logan. She met him at a Perth nightclub, she says, and she only knew that his name was Jeremy. Didn't know a whole lot more than that, except that he was a gentleman, she said, with no tattoos in her Gumtree ad. Well, it turns out she has not only found Jeremy, who apparently his mother calls Jeremiah, and she is now as well. She says he is an absolute gentleman. She has reconnected with him, and he loves his little boy Logan. Logan thinks that Jeremiah is his little hero, and not only that, she has now begun a relationship with him. Funnily enough, when she originally posted the ad, I don't think she was too clued into how the internet works. She put her mobile phone number on there, was hit with a barrage of hate messages, suggestive texts, things like that. She says she doesn't regret it because she has now found a wonderful type of love.
Does she know for a fact it is the father? Because maybe it's just some guy who was just doing something philanthropic by getting in touch with her.
Perhaps someone by the name of Jeremy thought, oh, that looks like a good opportunity, I'll jump in there. Look, she says it's him. She seemed to remember a little bit about what he looked like, so she's joined the dots and she says she's very happy. Yes.
Brilliant, Dan. Thank you very much. Dan Sutton, our Australian correspondent.